Good morning. I did a video a while back and never ended up posting it, basically because I forgot about it. But anyway, I wanted to go over the same information again and actually post it this time. This is my main garden area. We have lots and lots of different things growing. We have herb rose. That one is marshmallow. Got licorice, all kinds of things, the trees and so on. But what I wanted to talk about was the fact that when I moved here, I had no idea what I was working with. I had dirt to play in, and that's really all I cared about. I mean, I have plans, and I had plans at the time, and I knew all the things. I've gardened for many, many years, but I was not aware of how pernicious some of these perennial grasses are. When I bought the property, it was 100% grass. There were like half a dozen trees. There were tree rows at one point, but it looks like most of the trees have since died. And I had no idea. Let me go back. We'll go over here and use this. Okay, so let me get. I had no idea what this grass was. If you've watched previous videos, you've seen videos of me dealing with crabgrass at my previous property. When I first got here, my thought was, okay, I can deal with the grass. I'll put down cardboard, I'll put down wood chips. I got the cardboard, I got the wood chips, everything got covered. But there's a problem. Because for the first year, I didn't pay any attention to what was creeping in from the edges. From the edge of the box here to about here, about 10 feet, that was the growth of this grass last year. Last year it filled the boxes, and I was like, uh-oh, I've got a problem. I need to work on this. But the first year, when I tried to deal with the grass, the soil was completely clay. The roots were deep down into the clay. I could not dig them out. Every time I tried, it would just break the top off if I couldn't get a shovel into the ground. So what you're looking at here with the garden is 3 years, almost 4 years of wood chip mulch breaking down. So this year I am better able to deal with the problem that I was not even aware existed when I moved here. And I'm stepping carefully because I've got all kinds of stuff growing through here. But part of the solution, this section, I accidentally let get out of control. And I've already narrowed it down considerably, but I wanted to show you that over there, okay, in the middle of it, that is a cherry tree. It is dying, partially because of the water situation and partially because of the weeds. I think the weeds are strangling it. But this year I decided hold on. Sorry, neighbor. So when I first started trying to dig this stuff out, I couldn't even get down into the soil. So after 4 years of wood chips breaking down, we have a very, very different situation. So I found that the broad fork works best because let me see if I can get it. Because it not only digs deep, it gets the roots, it breaks up the root zone. So this, all of a sudden, comes right out. And this one is still in there. Okay, so I need the, where is it? And I'm not concerned necessarily if I pull the roots and they're back inside the area that I haven't broad forked yet. But like this piece is just sitting on the surface. So that's one step, that's one piece, is taking care of the areas where I have accidentally and you haven't even seen it, because, okay, let me do some more. Taking care of the areas where I've accidentally let the grass grow in the center. So all of this came from the area where I put down wood chips and cardboard around the cherry tree. And that, putting the cherry tree in the middle of that, broke it out, and then from there it just recolonized. So if I break it up, and I can hear the roots breaking. Now I've got a mat of weeds and roots on top of the broad fork. And so I can take that and just push it over to the side. Now, set the broad fork aside. You can see that a lot of this has come right out of the ground. So using the broad fork has worked very, very well. I am pushing it back much faster and much more easily than when I was using the spading fork only. So it is a process. This section will probably take, I don't know, months probably, depending on how I do it and how consistently I do it. So this is one step, right? Getting rid of the existing weeds. And then every day I walk the perimeter. Okay? where I have already weeded, and I'm looking out like 15 feet, just studying it to see if any of this grass, because I know there are pieces of roots that have gotten left behind. And usually, I've already done it today, but I walk the perimeter of the interior sections to make sure that that nothing has come up. And if it's come up, the exterior section is first priority. Now, if you look over here, you can see that strip of dirt right along the edge of the grass. That's where I've been using the broad fork. So, again, you can see right here, grass is coming up inside that. So I'm going to set this. Oh, I'm stepping on things. Stepping on amaranth. Not good. Must not step on amaranth. Okay, so right here, okay, there is a piece. I have to do it from the side because I'm also stepping on the chia. This was a piece that was left behind, and I'm gonna where did it go? Oh, there it is, down there. Okay, now it broke off, so that piece is probably going to regrow. And I could take it back further. It looks like I got it. Let's see. Okay. That is a piece that was left behind when I broad forked this. So let's walk the perimeter, walk the edge, and look for anything that should not be in that area. Okay, so I started broad forking there, worked through here. Now this right here, this is one of the problems. This is the difference in height here is not dirt. Let me see if I can demonstrate this for you. Okay, the difference in height here, it'll take a second to get there. This is what we're working with. This is a mat of roots. That's all that's in there, is just roots. It's a mat of roots. It has created its own mulch. And getting that out is hard. That's part of why the broad fork is working better than the spading fork, because that mat is not, and see there's that one little root, one little top. Okay, gotta get that. Okay, so you see that one little piece of green was attached to all of this. Okay, my phone needs to be repaired. So let's continue walking the perimeter. And I do this maybe an hour or two a day. Once I get this pushed back, it's not going to be such a big deal. This right here is one that I dug up and didn't throw. But you can see this has crawled out of its bounds. Okay. All right, so this is the edge of where I've broad forked for this section. So getting the existing grasses under control is only part of the issue. It's only part of the fight. The other part is keeping the grasses from coming in from the outside. If you look over here, there is a maple tree, lots and lots and lots and lots of roots. And those roots are providing protection for the grass. The grass is coming in from the lawn here. It's coming through this root area where there are lots of roots and I can't get the broad fork in there. And then into the boxes, and then past the boxes into the garden itself. So getting the weeds on the inside under control is a big part of the battle. Getting the weeds that are coming in from the outside under control is much more complicated, and it's harder. So what I am doing is slowly pushing the boundary back. I'll get it past the boxes and past the path. That's carpet padding, by the way, on the path. I'll get it past the boxes and past the path, and then I will put down, if I have enough, I will put down the either cardboard or feed bags and cover this whole area. I may end up just tarping it because that is the tree nursery. That is where I'm going to grow small trees before I plant them out. I'll grow them probably for a year before I plant them out. So keeping the weeds coming in along the borders is a much more complicated process. On this side, there's not a lot of that grass. But on this side, it is coming in all along the edge. So last year, when I had a flood in the back bathroom, the floors felt spongy. And I had to pull up the carpet to see if the floors were even safe, had to be replaced. So I pulled the carpet, and I am using the carpet as a boundary to keep the perennial grasses out. Now, if you look here, you can see all through here, I put down the feed bags and put down wood chips over the top, and that grass has already colonized through that area. So I'm going to be doing something different on this side, but in the meantime, the carpet along this edge is keeping those grasses out. What I will eventually do is pull the carpet back, cover the next section with wood chips, and then use the carpet again for the next row back. Okay. Now on this side, we have a strip of carpet. It's been there since last fall, and this is the edge of the current garden. So that as a boundary, I will gradually pull the carpet back, replace what is under there. I will replace it with feed bags or cardboard and wood chips, and then move the carpet over one more space. Now that gets a little bit complicated right now because I want the yarrow and the onions to go to seed. So I will be doing this. This is my biggest section of onions, wild onions, and there's a lot of yarrow through here. So I'm trying to decide if I want to transplant the yarrow, transplant the onions, but I've got so much more onions all throughout the yard that the onions really aren't a big deal. I will take the seeds. When they go to seed, I will take the seeds and use that. And then I've already started the next row. This is my apple row, because this row right here, although it has an apple tree in it, the little trees that came up and survived were both pears. So I'm going to turn this into a pear row, and this one over here will be the apple row. I have 17 more apple seedlings inside to go in that row. So what I will do, have the carpet. What I will do is pull this back a little bit at a time, cover it with feed bags or cardboard and wood chips, and then I will move the carpet over one more row. And rather than specifically working on keeping the grass out of the garden, I will work on expanding the garden so that the grass will not invade as quickly, if that makes any sense. I can work on a 3-foot strip. I can handle a 3-foot strip. Doing the entire garden probably isn't going to work very well. But short term, I can handle that. I can get the internal, I can reinforce the boundaries and keep grass from coming in from the outside. So that is my current big project, and that is why I have not yet planted the corn and the beans, because the area that I was going to plant the corn and the beans in was being colonized by the grass around the cherry tree. So that is my plan right now. It seems to be working. Broad forking, using the broad fork rather than the spading fork. The broad fork digs much deeper, and it seems to break up the roots more easily and work with and get the roots out of the ground more easily. And so I have also been broad forking over here a little bit every day to clear out the grass in that direction, because you've got a lot of grass all through here. All that out there all needs to be cleared out. My guess is that it'll be done by the end of the summer. I don't know, but that is the plan. And then from there on, it is primarily maintenance. So I'm going to end this. I wanted to talk about that particular item, about that particular process. It can be done. It is a matter of clearing out a space, maintaining the boundaries of that space, and clearing out a little bit more. So if you have perennial grasses and you don't want to use weed killers, it may take a while. I haven't had to use weed killers yet. If it gets really out of control, I may do that. But for now, I'm just going at it manually. I have the time, I have the strength. I just need to do it. So clearing out the center, clearing out the boundaries, reinforcing the boundaries, and then walking the area to make sure that none of that grass has started to recolonize. I will talk with you later.